welcome to the Forum Thread Podcast, number 30, the Big 3-0. I am Dark One Dre. Here with us today we have Nobod.
Hello.
Mr. Fusion.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening.
And Chaos Mana.
Yeah.
I would like to welcome you all personally to the podcast. How does it feel to be 30 podcasts sold?
Feels pretty good. The joints are
Wave is
okay.
30 a lot.
Little back pain. We're good.
Yeah, that's sad. Like, Wubwave founded the forum thread, and he's only been like on 3 or 4 of these podcasts.
But you know what? He listens to every one of them.
He does. He's such a trooper.
Yep. Even when he has crappy internet, he's at McDonald's or at the school library or wherever. If he can't be on the podcast, he at least listens in.
He's got to whore himself out for internet more than Nobod does.
Yeah.
Where are you today, Nobod? I don't hear any strange, like, creepy noises in the background, so...
Except the sound of him clacking on his keyboard, which is now returned.
Yep. Alright, well, to get us started, Chaos, you had talked about that video on YouTube that had been removed. I don't know anything about this, so please expound on that.
Yes, do tell.
Basically there's this YouTuber named Total Biscuit who does reviews on many different games, basically telling you whether or not you should buy it or if you should just leave it alone. And he takes a game that the game producers send him and gives it an honest review. Well, for one particular one, they took it down under claims of copyright, basically saying that he had no rights to monetize or make money off of their product. And he, using his influence, was able to point out that, like, all these reasons. There's this video, and we can put that in the link dump. But basically, they completely lied, and the producer is manipulating the YouTube system in order to do that. And one of the biggest points of this is that 3 strikes, 3 copyright videos like that, and your entire account and all your videos are gone. And that had put a mark against his account. And the reason that they took it
pissed me off.
Yeah, the reason that they took it off was because he said this game is horrible. This is the worst. Yeah, what is this? Why can't I even go through these tents? And yeah, he was just beating on the game. Not when now that it's actually back up after this incident has sort of passed. I watch it. It's not destroying the game, but he's definitely pointing out the things that are clearly wrong with it.
Which that's what any reviewer does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have to tell you,
goodness.
because I worked in radio for a long time, and we used to have, when I worked in Austin, I worked for this news station where we did a lot of just general talk content, and one morning show, we would have once a month, this local food critic, really big, giant, fat guy, of course. Shockingly, a food critic that's fat, right?
Oh my!
But people would call in, and basically he would recommend certain things around town. Oh, where can I get a good German-style brunch? And he would tell people, kind of like that. Well, every now and then, people would ask questions about some of the restaurants, and he'd give a negative critical review about it. It's like, Ruggles. Oh, well, Ruggles is this location in downtown. They opened up, and it's not as good as it used to be. Like, he would say something like that. And I'm not kidding. Right on cue, the manager would call in being upset about that. And, here's the thing is that when they have the title of a critic, you have to take the bad with the good, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you cannot.
Oh yeah.
When you pay these guys to come have meals, and they don't like the meals, I know it's bad in their eyes. It's bad press, but you know what? You're playing the stock market, so to speak, to get a good review. That's what you're hoping for. And when the dice don't roll your way, that's kind of like you can't complain because you knew that was a possibility. So that's kind of the same thing with this guy with Total Biscuit, is that they knew that that was a possibility, but I think some people get so caught up in the when I give you something for free, you're gonna give thumbs up no matter what. It's a bunch of crap.
And also the point that he made is, it's not like this guy that worked very hard on this game was just, in a fit of rage, just took it down. It was like 2 weeks had passed, enough time, and there's many other people that have done very similar, like bashing on the game reviews, but because he is one of the most respected ones in this area, his was the top video, so that one was focused on and taken down. And
So what was this game called again?
it was like day one, Gary.
Gary's incident.
Yeah, Gary's incident.
Yeah, I have no idea what this game is about.
It
sounds like
it's a survival game where you crash in the middle of the forest and you survive. And it has elements of Minecraft where you can you get a stick and you get something else and you form that together to make a dart gun. And it just doesn't work. It has pointless quick time events. And
why do people still put those in games?
for example, you have to, in order to heal yourself, you have to do a quick time event to put on the bandage.
The hell? What?
How does that work?
Yeah, for his policy on reviewing games, if the game reviewers ask to see his review before he releases it, he'll just say no. Because he wants to review a game without having to censor himself, just purely what he feels and be honest, not oh, they're paying me this or this, so I'm gonna... It's a 10 out of 10 game, even if it's completely horrible.
Yeah, I think that's a problem that a lot of companies have, especially since it works that way. It does work that way in the pharma industry and a lot of the government run programs, things like that. A lot of studies that are done, if they're endorsed by said company, then whoever's paying them tends to be the one that gets the high score. So the game industry, a lot of the people that run the companies in the game industry come from other big companies, including pharma, government, etc. So they still have that mindset of, okay, we're going to pay this guy, and he's going to give us a review, and because we're paying him this money, he's going to give us a positive review. That's just the way they're used to things working.
Yeah.
And they don't grasp. Yeah, they don't grasp how the current state of the game industry. That's why you see so many really stupid business decisions, like with what game was that? The new Lara Croft game. How even though it sold millions of copies, it was still considered a financial failure because it didn't sell as many millions of copies as they had predicted that it should have based on the brand. Same thing with Resident Evil 5. It sold millions of copies, but they wanted it to sell at least 3 million more than what it actually sold, and so it was also considered a financial failure. Are you guys just pulling these numbers out of your ass? You do not know. They do not know how the modern markets actually work, and it's really sad.
Yeah. Well, I think it also, what comes into play with the modern market is finding that niche. Like a friend of mine, we used to talk about, you have your A group and B group, where A is your niche marketing group. So you have the Tomb Raider, the adventure crowd, that primarily play those kinds of games, which is your A group. And then you have your B group, which are just, they hear about the game and they jump on the bandwagon, and those are the ones that's where you make a shitload of money, because, and that's nothing towards 343, towards Bungie or anybody, but because it's not the case in terms of quality, because the games are always great. But with Halo, there's a large contingent of strong followers that follow the mythos of Halo, that buy the books and everything and then buy the games, but it's also their friends that aren't huge into it, but they want to buy it because they want to play the big game.
Yeah.
That's the B group, and that's where Grand Theft Auto has made tons of money, because you have a shitload of people that follow the games, that play them, that know them, and you have a shitload of people that have heard, oh, it's an awesome game, well, I'm going to just go ahead and go out and buy it. And I think that's where, with Tomb Raider, they really screwed up in that. There was some advertisement for the game, but I think it didn't hit like some of the other games do in terms
Do you
of.
think it was like
they just
the
didn't
No.
the
come
specific
at me.
character change and just the way
It,
that
it was it. Yeah.
And it didn't help that the last like 4 Lara Croft Tomb Raider games were massive flops
Yeah,
anyway.
they were really bad. And then you.
So and
Not on
like the
top
one
of that, the
before
bad
it was
movies,
a
too.
reboot. Oh yeah. So like they already are have to dig a hole out, and so they decided to reinvent the character. It's like that's almost like just starting the franchise all over again, starting a new franchise. So yeah, you'll be a little bit better off than a brand new franchise because you're like, oh okay, it's a Lara Croft game. I kind of know what to expect, but yeah, you can't expect there to be a huge, massive fan following when the fans have been so disappointed in every single product that's been out for the last almost 10 years. Like it just doesn't work that way anymore.
One thing I'm quite surprised on, I mean, this is maybe just the media section that I'm looking around in, but no games seem to have spread to like everyone at least saying something about it than the Pokemon X and Y. That, like, everyone's like, ooh, here's my friend code, ooh, there's this or that.
I honestly have never been into Pokemon. I'm sure people love
Me
it,
neither.
but I never got into it to begin with, so I know everyone's just balls nuts about it. It's all I see is Pokemon X and Y
Oh,
on
yeah.
Twitter, on Rooster Teeth. Everyone's commented about it.
Uh,
It never was my cup of tea, and it never will be.
I mean, I knew that
Amen.
I knew that it was coming, like, there was an announcement, like, a year ago at least, or something like that. So I knew it was coming for a while, and I never expected that it would suddenly, like, everyone's, oh my gosh, playing it. Even some of the big names are doing a Let's Play in it.
Yeah, now this is a good example of a company that knows what what demographic it needs to aim its game at. It knows what its fans like, and it knows how to keep making more of the same thing, but that's still fresh enough with every iteration that the fans keep on buying it. Like Nintendo is genius about doing that.
Yeah.
They've been selling us the same Zelda game ever since the first one came out.
Well, not only that, but they reissue the same goddamn Super Mario game. They just, with a newer version of graphics and stuff. And
Yeah.
it's
Oh
the
yeah,
same
that one's
game
even
over-
more similar
and
than the Zelda ones.
Yeah, I mean, they
Through
reissue
all the
Super Mario
iterations.
over and over again, every single console, every generation, and people buy the shit out of it no matter what.
Because they're fun.
Hey, quick insert, guys, because this podcast was spawned on the Rooster Teeth website, and I think I made we were discussing before the podcast the effectiveness of Twitter being your instant news source, so to speak.
Oh yeah.
That, it's better than news websites. Okay, I don't know if you guys, everyone knows who Jack Patillo is, right?
Yes.
Okay, the achievement hunter Jack. Okay. Well, anyway, I was flipping through my web pages and just now, and if you're listening live, you're gonna see this, you're gonna hear this, but recording it's gonna sound outdated, but whatever. Apparently, he just got engaged to Katie Ward, who's the cool Katie on the website. They've been dating. She's from Australia.
Did you just recently tweet that, or when did he?
No, like she just tweeted a minute ago.
Oh wow.
They went putt golfing with Gilby and Joel Heyman. They were all putt golfing, and I just on my Twitter just popped up. She just put engaged with the picture. So that's the instant world we're in now, man.
Proposed while putt golfing.
Yeah, apparently. Say what you want about it being romantic or not. At least it wasn't cliche like at a sporting event.
Oh yeah, that's not even romantic.
Whoa! Was that a diss on golf?
What, putt golf?
Yeah, you said it wasn't a sport.
Golf is not a sport. We can have this. I'm the sports guy. I'm the sports guy. Remember, I'm the guy that worked in sports for a long time. We can have this discussion. Golf is
We did look up the technical definition of what a sport was, and it involves competition.
Yes, well,
I think
yes,
it's because of all the.
To me, a sport has to involve athleticism to an extent. Baseball is a borderline sport. It's more of a skilled recreation like golf. It really is.
God, you're gonna make me look this up again. Like oops, I just hit the Windows Media button. Go away, Media Center.
Well,
I
I
don't wanna hit
think
that button.
The way that golf is portrayed in, like, I guess on the television, all that, the big widespread. I think it's wide enough to be called a sport rather than some of the other stuff, which even though it's still there still might be tournaments and stuff somewhere, it's not quite as popularized as golf and football.
Here's the definition.
Baseball.
Sport. Noun. An activity involving physical exertion and skill in which an individual or team competes against one another or other for entertainment.
I don't like to exactly follow that as calling something a sport or not.
So, yeah, I don't know how physically exerting golf is,
There
but
are small stretches. Pretty much when you take your drive, when your initial driving, your long swings, that's physical exertion. Putting's not physical exertion. Walking from hole to hole is not physical exertion, guys. To me, golf and bowling is more of a sport than golf is, if that makes sense. Based on that definition.
I will agree. Yeah, I will agree. I think I lost this argument once before where I was trying to say that bowling and golf were not sports, and someone had pulled the definition on me, and they're like, well, technically bowling is a sport because, it is got some skill and it's got some physical exertion. I'm like, okay, fine, the definition has defeated me. So now I always try and pull the definition up whenever this topic comes up.
But anyway.
Sure, you were the one that pulled that definition on yourself.
I'm pretty sure you're wrong.
I don't know. You were the last time we had a podcast.
I was pretty wasted.
Yeah, you went pretty bananas, buddy. I don't know. You were talking to yourself for a little bit there, for a minute. Yeah, but
it happens.
But anyway, just back to my point. So, congratulations to both Katie and Jack.
Yes, congratulations.
Both very nice people. I got to finally
I'm
meet.
giving them a round of applause.
I got to meet both of them at RTX people. So.
Speaking about that, David, I think Ray wants a.
Oh yeah, in the chat you're missing out. Chaos.
What? No, they had a Minecraft.
Are y'all
proposal.
Minecraft
What are you talking
married
about?
now? What? What? Yes.
Why weren't we the best men? There's oddly 3 of us too.
Wouldn't that come with the actual thing, though?
I said a
We didn't
proposal,
say
not a marriage.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about to Nobod.
Oh boy.
But now that we're on the topic, so now that you're engaged, we can be your best men. You see, there could be 3 of us. We could take turns, bringing the ring up.
So you bring it up and then take it back, and then bring it up and take it back.
I say if you
over.
really want to get crazy,
Yeah,
you go get
tag team
you go
it.
get hitched in the Netherland. In the Nether.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
We
New
dodged.
Zealand. You can
No.
do it on Mount Doom.
Minecraft the Nether.
we followed the
I
walk
went to
just to
Nether
do
in
it.
Minecraft, guys. Okay, I think
Yeah,
nobody
I know what
it
you're
went
talking about.
totally over his head on that one. So.
I was trying to think of how to convert the lyrics to the screw the nether to getting married
do the
in the
Metallica.
nether.
The Nether to the Nether. No.
That's not really romantic, though.
Metallica can be romantic.
In a weird sort of way.
Well, there has been some people that there has been some that literally had blocks out there, like little Minecraft blocks.
Yeah, that was adorable when I went down into that chamber that Ray had made, and it had your name all over the wall with a big heart, and he's like, "Will you marry me?" I'm like, "Oh my God, this is happening on my server?
The best chamber ever.
Was that real?
Of course it's real. I have a ring on my
Yes.
finger, and she has one as well.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they literally got engaged on my Minecraft server. It's
So wait, you're seriously engaged? Like, not Minecraft engaged, like wacky video gaming engaged. You're engaged.
It was mentioned, it was conveyed
Okay.
over Minecraft, but when I actually went over to Georgia, it was officialized, and we actually got the ring there.
Congratulations.
so adorable.
Oh,
I think you just
Oh,
blew
yes.
Nobod's mind. I mean, seriously. Yeah.
Was that Nobod talking, or was that
No, I
Nobod's
think it was
dad
Nobod.
talking in the
Mine just
background?
literally fucking blew all over the place.
No
Which I mean,
more
to say
Nobod.
Nobod's mind is not that big of a mess as to someone like me who would Mind up the walls.
So no, you should say it rather imploded.
Asploded.
It
I prefer
imploded. It
asploded.
sucked in on itself.
Who will be transporting themselves to a new location? You both
both
are.
of
Ooh,
us.
good question.
Yes. At least that's our plan anyway. Although I'm not having to move quite as far, but it's still the entire giant process of moving. We're planning it all out.
Are you staying within the state? No.
Yes.
Moving to Austin?
How did you know?
Yes. That's
Well, because
right. It is
Austin's awesome.
It is wonderful, and it's going to be quite amazing when I can actually live there instead of being stuck in San Antonio. I mean, San Antonio's
It's not bad, but it's not a very good place to live.
But
it's a good place to visit
Yeah.
and then get the fuck out of there. It's not a very good place to live.
Yeah.
Well, my plans have changed for RTX because my wife will be
Wait, what?
coming along, and so she and
Oh,
I
yeah,
are renting
I
our
remember
own
now.
place. But that is
So we get to
Yes,
meet
you will
we
at
get to
some
meet
point.
Mrs. Fusion.
the main thing is the problem with that is that's all contingent on RTX being on July 4th, like it was this year. If it's not that weekend, then it's going to
Well,
cause some havoc for me. So there's a possibility I may not be able to go. So, yeah, because it's
What?
I know. I mean,
Unacceptable.
I can try to work things out.
wait,
I could try to work things out. The main thing is if it's not on the 4th of July, around that time, that holiday again, I can only attend it. I won't be a guardian, and I probably won't be able to go till the weekend anyway. So it'd be a Saturday, Sunday thing for me.
so you would
Yeah,
be just
I would
for the
just go
thing
attend
itself?
Saturday and Sunday. I wouldn't work it as a guardian because, for me, like, okay, if you're going to be a guardian, the event is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You need to at least be there Thursday. I mean, it's still not enough because on Wednesday afternoon they're doing a lot of stuff, packing bags. and,
There's setting
yeah. Well,
setting
there
and
wasn't
training
training
and all that.
on Wednesday. It was mostly just like doing bags, like the gift bags that you guys received. We had to put together something like how much was like 10,000, 12,000 of those, and they knocked it out in a couple hours, which is great. But I wasn't there on Wednesday because I had to work, so I drove immediately in Wednesday night and stayed at a ratty hotel before I checked in my nice hotel because it was cheaper for an extra night. And then Thursday morning, I went to orientation, grabbed my stuff, grabbed my badge, and all that stuff. And then when Thursday night, which was the 4th of July, we weren't supposed to tell anybody this, but there were like 4 of us that ended up working, which we couldn't tell anybody because if we told anybody what was happening, they would try to find the party. But at the W Hotel, we had a party for the cast and crew and the exhibitors, and like Mega 64 was there. Freddie Wong, everybody was there. We ended up working like security for that event, and so that's where I spent Wednesday. All day I went and did orientation. Then I just did my thing, hung out, went to the comic book store, my favorite restaurant, whatever, and then went to the event. So if it's the 4th of July, I can take that whole like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off. If it's not, it's going to be kind of hard too. So there is a slim chance I may not be going. Slim chance.
So,
Well, if
what
you're
is
not
the
there, we'll
percent
just have
chances
to
that it's
call you
going
in
to be
on the
on
podcast.
the same day?
Well, I can
or
tell you-
on the same, because obviously
I
the
can tell
calendar
you that
will move.
on
but-
Sunday afternoon while we were starting to wrap up, I was talking with Gus about that. And both Gus and Barb, I talked with Gus when he was upstairs in the Guardian room hanging out for a little bit. And then I talked with Barbara after everything wrapped in the evening Sunday night. And they do like the idea of having it around the 4th of July weekend because if the 4th of July is during the week, it gives people an extra day, their paid day off, to where they can work that out to get to Austin. And a lot of people, like a lot of you guys, wanted to go. A lot of people want to go for the whole week, which is cool. I mean, there's so much to do in Austin and so much to see, so many places to eat and hang out. But if you go, if you're there for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you're spending most of your time at the convention center. And you guys know this, waiting in line and for a lot of stuff. And you don't get to experience a lot of stuff outside of the convention, so you end up wanting to go for the whole week so you can experience everything around town. So they said that they like the idea of having it around the 4th of July. So ideally, that a lot of the Guardians are thinking, okay, it's probably going to be the 4th, that weekend, the first weekend of July again. But they announced the dates last year during PAX Prime, and they didn't this year. So everyone's kind of like, what the hell's going on? Everyone's kind of shocked.
It's because they're still working with NASA to have it on the moon.
You know
It's
what?
it's a lot of paperwork and
I know you're joking
processing.
about it, but I think the problem is space, because it is space. No, it's actually space because Bernie said he wants to go up to 15,000 this year,
Space.
15 to 20,000, and that means the entire convention center would have to be opened up for all of the panels.
Oh yeah,
And
that'd be nice.
I mean, that means a lot of things come into play. If you want it to grow, you're going to have more panels, which means you're going to have more exhibitors and special guests, because the cast and crew, God, you got to.
They
No,
can't handle
like Bernie said
everyone.
that on Sunday night when we were walking him out of. He was in a panel that had shut down
that's
like
horrible.
45 minutes, ago, and the convention center closed at 6. At 6:30, I'm up there hanging out, and they're telling me on the walkie, security's like, "Hey, are we all clear?" And then somebody comes out of one of the panel rooms saying, "Bernie's still in here talking with just some kids." And so we slowly pull him out and walk him down, the escalator. Everyone sees him, so they all rush him. And, a couple of people were trying to bug him about it. It's like, well, we tried getting in line for autographs. It didn't work. You guys need to have longer times or, a bigger place. And he's like, look, I get all that. He goes, the reality is with Rooster Teeth cast and crew, there's only so many of us. And there's a ton of you guys. So if we do expand, we need to have other big names here that can entice you to go.
The return of
Yeah,
Tuliscus.
so yeah, no, but if you eventually get
Yeah,
you do
I
get
like the
famous
fact
in
that they
porn,
had
gay
the-
porn, like you've been trying so hard, you should probably yeah, that's how good I am. I multitask in my comedy.
Since
club,
you did
dude.
say
Multitask.
since you did say that they are expanding, we're going to have more panels, that also means that we might not get it, but we can still definitely try to apply
everybody
for
can
our
get a
own
panel,
podcast panel.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We can get a panel there, and hey, if we're wanting to contribute to my gay porn industry, I can do the podcast wearing nothing but a thong. It'd still be appropriate, but
Good thing it's
close
not a
enough.
video
Close enough.
podcast.
Well, everyone
if
that's
he's,
there
I
would
don't
be able
know
to see.
what exactly it implies, but don't they have like at least someone filming most of them, or maybe it's only the higher end ones?
What?
Don't they
What
have?
are you going on about?
Don't they have people filming most of them? Maybe not
most
for
of them, yes,
streaming
they are
purposes.
filmed. Most are
but
filmed.
Yeah, but not all of them. There was a couple that I went to that were
What
not
was the
being
smallest
filmed.
panel, like in terms of like the crowd that you guys experienced?
The smallest one that I went to was where it was this woman who and a couple of her team members who make cosplay costumes. It's like her job. It's what she does for a living. And it was absolutely fascinating. She talks about all the mechanics that go into building or designing and building and then testing and the failures that happen when you're testing. But the room was probably just over a quarter of the way full. And she was a sport about it. She was still did a great job presenting the whole thing. But I'm like, wow, there's only this many people in here. I was hoping there'd be more because it was a really interesting panel, I thought.
we weren't in that many panels, so I guess the smallest one, just by room size, was the animated adventures one.
Okay.
And obviously the biggest one was the entire podcast room, which we left for it early, and early was like we're just in time to get in with some of the line that was started. It was like I've said before, you have to get there. Act like you're going to fly like 2 hours before some of the higher end ones.
That's
Yeah.
why Ken and I didn't get in line with you guys. We're like, I don't want to sit in line for 2 hours for something. It's like I want to, be able to see more stuff, and other than a bunch of people sitting in line. That's
Well, Well, yeah, it's a balance between certain things that you can only have and enjoy at RTX in person versus like some of the merchandise which might be available other places. It's all like, do you really want to see this or that? Like every time we're gonna try to see the RT podcast and maybe try to see a couple other things.
Well, last year I think Bernie was bringing up that the Rooster Teeth podcast panel was going on at the same time as the My Little Pony panel, and I think they said there was a total.
Yes.
Did you go to the My Little Pony panel?
Yeah.
I meant not.
I did.
Not
I was
13,
at the My Little
I meant
Pony
12, RTX 2012. Okay.
Oh no, I wasn't at
You were
2012.
Chaos.
I
Did you
was
go
at
to the My Little
2012.
Pony panel? Okay. From what I've
No.
heard, from what Bernie said was there were
Shame.
maybe like 10 people in the My Little Pony panel the first year. And this year,
Oh, really?
I saw the line for that because I was working security in the Guardian room. That line was sick. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, the room was filled.
Yeah, that panel, the Ruby panel, the podcast panel.
Well,
all,
the
like, super
Achievement Hunter
high-end.
panel. People showed up at 5 o'clock in the
yeah,
morning
that
because they
one.
opened up the doors at 5. I got there at 6, and there was about 30 kids just sitting in a line in front of the escalator on the lobby floor. And I go, what are you guys doing? Oh, we're waiting in line for the panel. And I knew what panel was at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Was it 9 or 10, whatever? The first panel, the big one. And I said, let me guess, Achievement Hunter. They're like, yes. All of them said yes. I said, I don't think you guys can be down here in front of the escalator. Well, we wanted to be first in line, so I had to call the security guardians, and we're like, guys, there's people already lining up. And it was like 6 in the morning. They're already lining up, and they're like, okay, well, we'll get there right away. They ended up moving everybody up to that mid floor, that empty floor, which was a good idea. And
Yeah, the podcast line slowly wrapped around that entire floor.
that's crazy. And and if he wants to jump it up to 15, 20,000, it's gonna. Oh boy.
Oh yeah, because if you open up more of the convention hall, that means literally less
Yep,
space
that's
for
the
some
main
of the
thing.
lines. And they've said this themselves a whole bunch, but where and how they put the
Mhm.
signature booths, like in the middle of the floor, that definitely didn't flow well. And I think they should also, since like everyone wants to see the main stage and it's a pretty freaking big screen, they should scoot all the other stuff away from that, because a lot of people, like one of the Let's Plays, that one, it was crowded. Like, they had overflow into the other rooms, sort of crowded. I think they broadcasted it there, but yeah, they need more space for some of the stuff, and maybe plan out the way that they get stuff signed better.
Well, I think they're learning every time
yeah.
they do one of these. They're getting bigger. They have more people. They have to negotiate layouts on the fly as situations arise. So like it's going to be a constant learning experience for them, and they're going to try new things every year. And some of it's going to work, and some of it's not going to work, and that's just part of the whole experience of expanding the fandom.
And the one thing I appreciated from them was they took input from the Guardians, and everybody just discussed, the ideas of what to do. Because, like the first day of the badge opening on Friday, the fear was, oh my God, we don't have enough. There's too many people out in the lobby. We have to, by fire code is we have to clear a path. There has to be a path for people to walk up and down the lobby, but everybody's just bombarding the room. So we and they were covering the doorways and everything, and it was like I was at that point I was a floater where I had to switch positions, but at that point I worked security, and I was like, well, we just put the convention security came over to me, and they were like, okay, we're only gonna in each section we're only gonna open up a couple doors. We'll just put one person in front of these doors. I said, that's fine. I'll stay in front of a door. I have no problem yelling at people. I have no problem being an asshole, just because.
Oh, you
Oh
yelling?
my
I
God.
can't imagine that.
It was.
I can easily.
Have your badge out. Have it ready. Have your badge out. Have it ready. You don't show me your badge, you don't get in. And at first, everyone's just kind of like edging on their, like ready to run and run, and the staff are freaking out like, oh my god, they're just gonna bombard us through the way in. Pleasantly surprised, and there weren't any issues. Everybody was very calmly walking in, It's just watching the real young kids that aren't supervised, like their parents drop them off there. Those are the ones you have to worry about because they think they can get away with shit because they're not going to get in trouble. But it's like, hey, no problem. You just tell them, if you don't do what I say, I'm taking your badge and you're getting out. They immediately shut the hell up and they act like saints. And there wasn't a problem with that. But I know the bigger it's going to get, the more guardians you're going to need, the more volunteers, the more staff, and it would be interesting to see them.
So if you were a guardian last time, do you get automatic or higher consideration to be at this time?
I think because a lot of the guardians this year were guardians last year. I wasn't last year, but I was told that you get it's pretty easy to get a guardianship if you were the previous year. So, but I mean, there's only been 3 years to kind of it's a basis of comparison is only 3 years. So,
Yeah.
But I'm told that the volunteers at PAX are really bad.
I think not.
So. Yeah, because I have a few of the cons.
Maybe not this year, but maybe next time. I might try to get a guardian because there's still a couple things I want to do. For example, we never really got, mainly because of the length and the oddity of the Achievement Hunter line, we never got to see some of the people that we wanted to. So hopefully try to get that again, like Gavin. I was like, I want to see Gavin. I saw, at least he was here this time. He wasn't there last time when it wasn't quite as crowded, and I was kind of disappointed.
Well, I'll tell you this, Nobody. You brought up, because you made a comment about a concert. Katie's been doing this thing where she'll host a chat on the Rooster Teeth site, I think on Fridays or Thursdays or Fridays afternoon for an hour, and just Katie Ward, the cool Katie, the one that just got engaged to Jack. She mentioned that Jack did bring up the idea of at the meet and greet that they should have a band.
Like, last on.
Thinking more of live DJs type stuff, but bands.
That's not really a concert.
Well, it's still a show.
But how is that
it's a show? But it's not a concert.
Okay, what Deadmau5 does in front of a stage is not a concert. That's a show.
Oh yeah,
it's a show.
Okay, I know people call it a concert, but it's a show. He's not. He's pushing buttons. That's not work. Okay.
It's like that Japanese pop singer that's actually a Vocaloid program and a hologram. That anime character chick.
Yeah.
Hatsumi. It's like, that's a show. They call it, I'm going to go to the concert. No, you're going to the show because she's not a real person. She's not actually singing.
It's a musical show.
Yeah, it's a show.
Look up the definition of a concert.
You look up the definition of a concert.
Oh.
Well, yeah. You know what? Screw this. I'm going to look it up right now.
Okay. While you're looking at that,
I would say what happened at Rooster Teeth.
A musical performance given in public, typically by several performers or of several separate compositions. See the point there? A musical performance. When you push buttons on a fucking computer, that's not a musical performance.
Yes,
that's called IT work.
It still is. Okay. So
if you have two old school turntables where you're having to physically exert yourself by scratching records, that's work. That's still not a performance, but that's work. This is like the whole sport versus skilled recreation thing there,
Yeah, if you have a band kind of like Daft Punk where they actually like record their own vocal tracks and stuff like that. It's like that's borderline actual concert too, even though most of their stuff is like electronic.
Yeah. Well, let me ask.
They're EDM artists.
No, but do you play any instruments, or are you a performer?
I can do keyboard. I can play piano.
You can play piano.
Yes.
Classical? Are you classically trained?
No, not trained for anything. I just can.
You can play chopsticks.
Well, how advanced of a song could you play?
I'm just curious.
I could do a live Eurobeat performance. So.
A live what?
I just gotta remember the Eurobeat chords for the one part, and that's it.
Well, my hat goes off to you because I don't know how to play any instruments except the theme for Jurassic Park. I can play that on piano.
That's amazing. But I was gonna say, when William sets up RTNH, he was planning on doing a show or something.
Mm.
So he's
Hopefully
gonna
I would
come
be
back. I was so disappointed when at the meet
joining
and
with that.
greet he wasn't there last time. I was like, there might be a concert. Everyone should come to this after party thing. And then most of them showed up, but and then nothing happened.
Yeah, I
except
was
a little.
there, and there was nothing there.
If they have it this time, you definitely would want to come to see it.
My heart broke. I'm like, what is this shit? Instead, there was only the
Staff.
oh, what do you call that? No. The only thing that there was in the form of entertainment was a bunch of people doing the
Conga line.
conga line.
Yeah.
Yes, doing the conga line. And they tried to run us over.
It's not easy because I think Chaos is the one that told me that at the meet and greet that Gavin was bombarded and had to run away in fear because he was just swarmed by people and he was pinned against. And he mentioned that on the podcast that he was pinned. And I think they said it the next morning too. But I mean that kind of sucks because they want to go and the idea is they go and they hang out with us with the community,
Yeah.
and people need to be a little more relaxed about it, but the problem is
the
they want
staff need to carry tasers.
that'd be nice.
Yeah,
You can't tase them
or
all.
cattle
No,
cattle
the
prods.
cat-
Cattle
Cattle
prods.
prods.
Each cast member has to be protected by 4 Halo armor cosplayers.
From the 501st or whatever.
501st. What?
The
That's
501st?
Star Wars, I thought.
Oh, that's the Star
That's-
Wars guys. My
That's
bad.
that's the Star Wars guys from Battlefront 2.
But they were there. They could have easily.
They
Well,
could
yeah,
have.
but I mean,
They
it's
were
just
there.
some-
Apparently, they were everywhere.
It'd be hilarious to just have like Gus escorted by like 5 Simmons armor colored guys.
No, one's enough.
With lightsabers.
Oh, lightsabers are real now.
With sound effects.
I don't think they make sounds like that though, but they're real.
They can if you carry a speaker with you.
How,
That would be
by
annoying.
real, do you mean simply producing the blade that we see, or could they actually be used in a similar method?
Really annoying. It's a crystallized blade made of light.
It's not the same thing.
No, it's not the same.
It's not exactly the same thing.
It's
but
not
full
a-
of
it's not
light.
light projected.
How much heat,
It's
heat
just
does it
crystal.
produce?
It's still made of light. That's the point.
It can't melt rock, can it? No, I didn't think
I'll
so.
look it up.
Your
Can
argument is
Can
invalid.
it even,
What I wanted to do is to be able to decapitate and cauterize at the same
Yeah, that's what I
time
was
like a
about to
lightsaber
say.
should.
Well, I'm not worried about the decapitating and cauterizing because dead is dead. But it'd be nice to be able to take an arm off and
Well,
cauterize.
yeah, I think decapitation. I was a little extreme on that. I mean, I wanted to be able to remove a limb and cauterize the wound.
That's much more
Yeah, it's
efficient
kinda
at torture
counterproductive
because you
to
can chop
decapitate
someone up
and
in
it's
pieces and they're not
kind of
bleed to
pointless
death.
to cauterize.
Well,
a
you
head
could still-
wound when they're dead, right? Yeah.
Well, no,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be pointless because wouldn't that mean less mess?
Yeah, it would be less mess, but why are you gonna cut someone's head off? Because you're pissed off at them. So wouldn't it be more efficient to chop
Yeah.
their arms off, then chop their feet off, then chop their
could
ankles
go
off, then their knees
mafioso
off? So they
down
really
so far,
really
far
don't
away, cutting
enjoy
off
the whole
fingers.
experience of death.
I guess if you're
Just
fighting
like,
multiple people,
sabering off a finger here and there, it cauterizes the wound so they don't bleed out.
ow. That'd be painful.
I wonder if you'd be able to do something precise with one of those, like remove a tooth that's like.
It would
giving you a
depend on
toothache.
how well you could
Yeah.
contain the heat that would be emitted. Like if it's only hot when it's touched, otherwise it's fine.
Maybe they aren't exactly crystallized. It says when these photons interact with each other, they're pushing against and deflecting with each other. I'm getting confused. This is MIT guys. They finally did something.
One-
do a
They do
lot of
stuff
stuff
all
for
the
the
time.
government.
What
It's
co-
just
what
whether or
color-
not it's noteworthy or not.
What color was their lightsaber then?
Yep. That's how my new
Really?
the company I'm working for now actually got started working for the government, and they only went public. They only went public like in 2003.
No.
So you work for the government.
You used to have a contract.
No, I don't work for the government. My company
This is a
used to
little
work for the
different.
government. Yeah, my company's still relatively small.
Wow.
It's got less than 2,000 employees.
Still over the 50
It's
cap.
like
So
1,700 or something like
you
that.
have to go through the whole Obamacare, the marketplace. Did they send you all that paperwork about the marketplace?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The the health coverage is a lot cheaper here than it was when I worked
That's
for
cool.
Max. Like I can actually
Good
afford
deal.
this. I'm actually going to have like proper health care here.
That's
Yeah,
really
I
good.
was really excited. Like at CarMax, I don't know what sort of like bullshit deal they had going on there, but it would have been almost $100 a paycheck for
What they had,
insurance.
probably
And
what they
here
were
it's
doing
only
is
going to be
they
about
were minimizing
$27
their
a
contribution
paycheck.
to your monthly premium. You were paying for a bulk of it. I mean, did you get like
It's probably what it
standard
is.
like health package where you had health, vision, dental?
Oh, no, I got the vision and I got the dental. I
No,
just
but you
opted
had
out of the
you had
health
the
because I'm
ability
not
to
about to
have
give them
all three of
$100 of
those,
my paycheck,
and it was a standard health
twice a
insurance
month.
where you pay a copay and you have a
Oh yeah.
deductible and all that, right? Okay, so more than likely, because
Yeah.
if it was you're what, a 26,
Yeah,
27-year-old
yeah.
male, that's yeah, $200 a month is pretty much probably I'm going to say 3/4 of your monthly premium, so that's 75%. So it's reversed, yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah.
generously, I go to the doctor maybe once a year. So it's like I don't need to be
Well, and
paying that.
as someone that
It was
operates
cheaper for me to just pay
operates
the
a
doctor right
business,
out
I
of
can
my
tell you
pocket. So that's why I just
the
opted out of it.
employee really has no idea. And most businesses, you do now because CarMax had it all screwed up. But you're working at a normal business that does probably what we do, and my business, we cover 80% of the employee's premium, monthly premium, and the employee has 20% that they pay out of their payroll. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah, it's expensive. Vocus like really down when I just signed up for my benefits today because it was my technically my third day and I just was able to log into the system. I got my picture taken. I'm gonna get my big boy badge tomorrow.
are you gonna post your
But
picture online, or have you already?
I'll post a picture of the picture on my card I guess when I get the card. Um, but yeah, it shows you how much I pay per year for insurance, and then it shows me how much the company pays
Yep.
per year for my
Oh my
insurance, and it's
gosh.
like
Yep.
it's over
And did you know the closer
$3,000 a
you
year
hit
that they
30,
pay
it
for
goes
my
up.
insurance.
But luckily for us males, we are blessed in that our premiums don't skyrocket until we hit our mid 40s. Like after 40, it'll go up pretty big, and then 45 is where it goes up significantly. But women that just once they get past the age of 30, theirs is just ridiculous. I'm talking about. I'm not going to throw out numbers out there, but it's ridiculous. Like whatever you think you're paying, you can almost double that for the company's cost for a woman's health care. It's because you have OBGYNs, birth control, and all this nauseating stuff that a bunch of guys don't want to talk about. But yes, it's pretty gross. It's redonkulous the costs that go in monthly for healthcare. So if you work at a company and they give you the option of having it and it's not a large deduction from your paycheck, get it, because if what's going on with this Affordable Healthcare Act, it's very confusing if you are a middle class person. If you're making decent wages, it's very confusing. So. But see, like Chaos is in college, so he can just rely on
Oh
his
yeah.
local university's health facility. So no, but part of your
Oh
part
yeah,
of your
though I
fees and your
haven't needed
tuition
to
pay
really
for
use
that,
it,
though.
and I also have.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
wonders of being young.
So it.
I've been starting to think about age again.
Uh-oh.
I turn
Uh-oh.
27 on the 3rd of November. That's coming up really close.
What are you gonna do, sir?
What?
What are you gonna do for it, sir?
I don't know. I might just have family over. That'll be nice.
You sound both happy and not.
You're not going to invite the podcast over?
Well, I could, have Skype running in the background. It's like, say hi to the podcast.
We all upgrade to video calls
Don't
so we
think
can
that'd
just
be
do a multi-video call.
Yeah. No. No.
You were just like, yeah.
Everyone else can come, but you can't come, no bot. Sorry.
He'll invite Ray. Ray can fly all the way in from Atlanta, but no, you're not allowed.
Yeah, just a little plane trip.
Nice little thing. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Extra Life, being gamers and all. No. Extra Life is a charity.
I think
What they do
so.
is
that
What
like
is
Second
raise
Life?
money for the
Oh, yeah,
Children's
that's-
Miracle Network.
Oh,
which,
no,
if
I
you're
haven't.
not familiar with that, it's the local children's hospitals and all over the U.S. And what they do is primarily the Children's Miracle Network. They take the kids in that have medical issues, whether they be like cancer or accidents where they need surgeries, things like that. And most of the time, the parents can't afford it, and the Children's Miracle Network does the work, a lot of it for free. But what they have to do is they have to rely on a lot of donations, and kind of. My wife and I do a lot of charitable stuff. My wife does a lot of animal rescue, where she does a lot of volunteer work for dogs and cats, and pulls animals off the street, gets them cleaned up, gets money for raises money for vetting, gets them spayed, neutered, shots, all that if they're heartworm positive. They have, a lot of them have ailments, broken legs, anything, hips that need surgery. They raise the funds to do this, and then they put them in foster care, and then eventually find them homes. And we do foster care ourselves in this house. But anyway, she does a lot of the animal rescue work. A lot of my stuff involves the kids. And one of my big favorite charities to donate to is Children's Play, which is the Penny Arcade guys. I love to donate to Children's Play, and I always tell my family and friends every Christmas to donate. Well, Extra Life's kind of the same thing, where what they do is it's kind of like a walkathon, but it's a gameathon. On November 2nd, we're going to be gaming all across the country, streaming the event in your whatever you want to do. You can create your own group, your own personal campaign, and raise funds. The basic goal is like individually $100. You can raise it to whatever you want. My goal was set at 200, which I've since broken, and I'm still taking donations. But anyway, what we're doing is I'm actually joining a team this year in Austin. So I'll be in Austin on November 2nd. I don't know if you guys know Grady. He is a Rooster Teeth member. He's the president of the Rooster Teeth Side Quest. I mentioned the side quest badges last year, this year right before RTX, where you can go to these events, and side quest is just basically the Rooster Teeth community. It's a side community. Yes, hanging out. He's actually having a team in Austin that we're going to be broadcasting the whole day. So because it's a daylight savings weekend. Instead of 24 hours straight of gaming, we're going to be doing 25 hours straight of gaming. So from Saturday at 11 a.m. to Sunday. And the fact that I'm 35 years old, I'm an old man now.
You overachiever, you.
I can't party like I used to. It's going to be a task for me to do this. So from 11 a.m. to 11 a.m.
He's
we're going to be
party
gaming.
like a rock star.
The Rooster Teeth guys, they are going to actually be doing. They actually have their own team as well, and I think on their podcast Monday they brought it up. They're going to be streaming from their podcast set the entire time too. So, it's kind of an act of solidarity to raise money. Last year, Extra Life raised about $2.3 million, and the goal is to break that, collectively. So, anyone listening that's interested, anyone that's just pass it along. Extra Life, the website is extra-life.org. You can find out about the campaign, find out the ground roots, where it originated from. Also, if you do make a donation, it is tax deductible because they do have their 501c. So when you make a donation, you will have a email to you a tax receipt for tax purposes. You can also select whatever children's hospital you want to work with. The Rooster Teeth SideQuest team, they're going with Adele Children's Hospital. I've picked my local one here in Houston, which is the Texas Children's Hospital. So definitely look at it. Whatever you can donate. I have my own personal page, so if you go in and do a search for Patrick Lopez, which is my name, shockingly, if you haven't figured it out or learned what my name is yet, you can find my page, and then it's also linked to the SideQuest guys. You can go to the Rooster Teeth website, look up SideQuest. It's very interesting, right? I have an Irish first name.
I'm rather fond of your name, Patrick Lopez.
That's why, being Hispanic, I still am
it's
obligated
endearing.
based on my
It's
first
very
name
endearing.
to celebrate St. Patty's Day every year. I have to.
Hell yeah!
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm obligated. It's for my last name.
So,
Simmons is
so
Dutch Irish. It's the
so
Irish
I'll be
part.
in the event.
Yeah.
If you want to donate to my campaign, that's great. Anything, I appreciate it. If you don't, anyone listening, you can always message me, message anyone on the website, especially the Rooster Teeth cast and crew, because they're going to be doing their event in Austin. A lot of teams all across the country, like Rooster Teeth-based teams, will be gaming. You don't have to be in Austin to be a part of the team. You can sign up to be a part of the team and game from your own your own home. It's just basically the cause is to try to play as much gaming as you can, raise as much money as you can. So if you want to sign up as well and get involved, it's for a great cause. It's, what they do is very similar to Child's Play. They purchase games, video games, board games, and toys for these kids that are in these hospitals, as well as raising funds for their care. Because those bills get really high, but at the same time, like for me, and I'll tell you, Child's Play I've been following since the very beginning, because I've followed Penny Arcade since 1999. And when they started Child's Play, it really hit me, because it was a charity that it was a game. The gaming community said we're going to do our own thing and raise the funds, because these kids are in these hospitals, and they're sitting in these rooms, and it takes a toll on them. And to have that little distraction, it's a great way to take their mind off of things for a little bit.
Yeah, and it's a great way for the gaming community to be able to reach out that way. The gaming community, the Rooster Teeth community, and everybody listening to the forum thread podcast
at the very
foundation
of this podcast, it's the video game culture, the video game community. We're all gamers. So, and like I said, I've done a lot of things when I worked in broadcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
For a long time, I did a lot of the Christmas stuff, working at radio stations and in news. And when I worked in sports, seeing these pro teams do these charitable things. But for me, my roots are, I'm a video gamer by heart. That's my number one thing. I'm a sports guy, but I'm also a gamer, and I really like this because you go into a children's hospital. If you never have to go into one of these hospitals and volunteer during Christmas time, it really. It brings you back to reality. It's like, you think your job sucks, your life sucks, and you're like, you know what? These little tykes, man, these little guys are stronger than me, and they're kicking cancer's ass. You know what? I'm gonna shut up for a little bit. I'm gonna be grounded a little bit. So it's a really great cause. It's extra-life.org, and there will be in the link dump, definitely, as always.
We should put a link to that in the link dump.
November 2nd is the actual event, which is a few weeks away, and so it's November 3rd. It's your birthday?
It's the day before my birthday. Yep. Actually, the November 2nd is mine and Ken's anniversary.
Oh
wow. Yeah. So, if you want to give Ken and I an anniversary present, donate to this cause here. Help Mr.
No, if you get $200 or more donation, Ken will say a few words on the podcast.
Awesome. He probably would agree to that, actually. You can finally hear what the mysterious Ken sounds like.
Every extra $50, he'll say one extra sentence.
The, Speaking of which, we haven't of significant others. We've had Chaos as significant other
She is in
on the
her own little world.
podcast, but we haven't heard
Eventually,
anything about
I'll try
Mrs.
to sneak her
Fusion.
on. She's a very shy individual, which is it's very different when you see the personalities. My
Okay.
personality
The shy
is on
Mrs.
one side of the
Fusion.
spectrum, and hers is way on the other pole. Personalities.
That's a lot of successful relationships are that way, where you can't have two people that are too similar because then you can wind up not being able to stand each other. So you have to have that balance. One person's a little to the
Exactly.
left, the other person's a little to the right,
agree.
and you make a nice balance together.
I think a good example of that for us is Ray really likes cats and I really like dogs.
So
Cats and
many
dogs.
moons down the road, you're gonna have a home with cats and dogs.
That's what it sounds like to me.
It depends. I don't know if I'm going to be able to bring my dog, but we're definitely going to bring her cats. Maybe
I can already smell the cat urine.
2, but I don't know if all 3 are coming. It's kind of
that's
like
interesting.
maybe this, maybe that. It's not sure right
He's
now.
gonna have 18 cats.
Chaos is going to turn into a cat lady. Yep. And he's
I
going to
was gonna make a
forever
comment
reek
with
of
that
urine.
after that statement, but I'll pass. It's already getting late. Ray wanted to.
Poor
Ray
Chaos.
is in
Get
the
ready.
Twitch
You're going to
chat.
be
She
infected with
wants to let everyone
toxoplasmosis.
know
Just
my
prepare
cats
yourself.
Don't piss anywhere but the litter box. And she hates you, Dark.
I was going to say
I hate
that.
you.
That's what I was
I hate you,
thinking.
Dark. Really,
That's like
man,
the
you're
second or
getting on her
third time
last
that
nerve.
she said she hates me today.
Well, you know what? At least you'll have a place to
Oh
stay
well.
when you go to
I love you,
Princeton
Ray.
down the road.
Well, I don't think I'll be welcome.
You'll be welcome if after you get we throw a cat on you and just it'll scratch you up, and then you can.
I'll walk in and
Get
like, dear
out.
God, it smells like feline in here.
You can bring,
He's
like-
you can leave now. Like, you can't smell that? You really can't smell that? Oh my God, you've been living in
So,
cats for too long.
I had something else I wanted to bring up in the podcast, but I think, Apple made its announcement, and I can just mention briefly that, yay, they have a new whatever. I don't care. Yeah, I was kind of hoping Indy would jump on tonight.
Another
But
one.
she's at work right now. She's probably working overtime because
Yeah,
the
who
call
cares
center's
at this
probably
point in
being
time?
bombarded with Apple idiots right now. So what's involved in the new iPad Mini? Can I buy the
Oh, this is
iPad
true.
Mini? Should I buy the iPad Mini? Yes, I know all of the callers have a country accent, but that's pretty much the only accent I can do. Yeah, thank you. So
Considering you're Hispanic,
yeah,
that's pretty
they
good.
have some new stuff coming out.
I'm impressed.
So,
How much
very
new
expensive
stuff, especially
they
since
have
it's so
the
recent
the
from
iPad
the
Air,
previous
which
release.
is basically a thin iPad, which sounds stupid.
What?
The regular iPad, an iPad Mini with a new Retina display, and a MacBook Pro, a MacBook, and the iOS, which is the iOS X, the iOS 10.
Yeah, Apple is getting out of touch with what it takes to be a successful business. They're flooding the market, their own market, with their own products. And yeah, people are still buying it right now, but if they continue doing it like this, like, people are going to get sick of it. I mean, like, wait a minute. We just
You
had
know
a
what,
new
though? They've
version
been
of
doing
this
this
like
for the
2
past
months
10
ago.
years, and
Why
people
is
have
there a
not
new
caught
version? Yeah, but they've been staggering it a lot. There have been
I don't,
longer
well, I mean, I
gaps
haven't
between
really been
releases.
up with the growing of iPods, but it doesn't seem, I don't see, like, and everyone, like, ooh, this is all crazy. It's like, especially with the rate that you can spread everything through the commercials and all the advertisements everywhere, it seems to be more frequent now.
Yeah, Apple is going too fast now, and they're going to flood their own market with too many new products, and
My
their
problem
customers
with
are not
Apple
going to be
is
able to keep up with it.
I think. Well, I don't even have a problem with them. They serve their purpose. They're not. I'm not a fan of their products. I'm an Android guy. PC and Android guy. To each their own, whatever. But this whole
ditto.
Apple versus PC
Ditto.
thing, I don't even take part in it. I just say, you know what, it is stupid. And for me, it boils down to
It's stupid.
I know
It's stupid.
I know the peripherals of a PC. They can be upgraded, and I can expand. And there's with iOS, it's easier to develop things with Android than same thing with Windows, whatever. Exactly. You don't have to. Exactly. You don't have to jailbreak it like they call it.
You don't have to break it to get it to do what you want it to do.
I think with this iPhone 5, and I think Apple knows this now, even their A and B groups are both starting to catch on to the jokes we make. When we make those jokes about they're going to release bullshit that's that has hardware that's a little outdated, which you can get more updated stuff in PCs and Androids, blah, 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 blah. And people are going to line up in front of the store a month before and wait for a month to buy this shit. I think after the whole iPhone 4, 4S, 5, 5S bullshit, I think their people, their followers are slowly starting to realize that basically Apple's like, we'll put whatever's out there and you're going to fucking buy it. And I think they're... Maybe this has something to do with Steve Jobs passing. I don't know. I find that to be silly if that's the case. That a sense of reality.
It is an interesting coincidence, though, that they start doing all this after he dies.
Behind the scenes, he was secretly trying to calm down all the other executives of Apple.
Yeah, I mean,
and now that he's gone, now that the executives take over,
they got a little too big for their britches. And if you're gonna,
yeah, because they're looking at it like executives. They're looking at the bottom line, like, oh well, we released this, all these people buy it, so let's release it. Let's release more of them, and the same amount of people are going to buy it. And it's like, they don't realize that the world doesn't actually work that way. And they work that way for a short amount of time, and then people are going to get sick of the market being flooded, and then be like, wait a minute, why are we even buying this? We're going to release a new version of it in 6 months.
Yeah,
this is ridiculous.
I do wish they design stuff more for durability and keeping it for a long time. Because if I want to invest in something like a game system or a phone, I want to be like, okay, this is going to be my thing. Unless accidents happen and I break or
and that's why a lot of
then I'm planning to stick with this or that for as long as I can.
That have Android, they are set up to where you can update it to a newer version of Android. Same thing with, the problem with Apple is that their stuff, you can't upgrade it. Everything's very modular, I guess is the word. Not modular. What's the word I'm thinking of? Proprietary. Like the RAM being soldered onto the motherboard is bullshit. I'm sorry, it's bullshit.
Yes, proprietary.
If I want to be able to up the memory on my system, I should have that right. If I want to up my video card, I should have that right.
Oh, that'd be nice.
They're like, nah, you're getting a MacBook. Everything is the way it is. Sorry, no up in here.
And like I said, I don't want it to become a bashing session, but it kind of is very. I think we brought this up on a podcast a couple weeks ago. It's very similar to Balmer and Microsoft, where with the whole Windows 8 thing, which was Windows 8 was an OS that's based off of a tablet style because the future is tablets. But it's like, I get that, but the problem is that PC isn't tablet. I don't know if you ever watched South Park. There's that episode where they ago where they talk about the fish sticks, and no one got the joke. No one got the joke but Kanye, and he's on the board writing fish sticks, Kanye, and he doesn't understand. Right? They're like, "Do you like fish sticks?" Yes. Do you like fish sticks in your mouth? Yes. Then you're a gay fish. And he doesn't get the joke because he's just so full of himself. He has to write it on a board, a dry erase board, to get the joke, and he still can't get it. It's the same thing with Microsoft. It's like, okay, tablet-based operating system. Tablets, PCs. If you write that shit on the board and you look at it, you should say, okay, a tablet-based OS should not be on a PC. How the hell did you miss this? You know, I just don't get it.
No. I have no idea. I think that they were thinking that because they tried to release this gesture technology right at the same time, so like you could act like your computer was a touchscreen with the gesture recognition technology. But I don't know what happened to that. I saw commercials for it, and then it just kind of fell off the face of the earth. I don't know if they had too many technical problems with it, or if it's delayed, or if they just canceled it, or what. But
faded away.
Like when it made sense when you first saw the advertisements, because you saw the advertisements for the air gestures and like, oh, that's why they're going with this look. They're having this whole like what's that Tom Cruise movie with the precogs. Minority Report, yeah, you have all this Minority Report shit going on, and it's really cool. And like, okay, I can see where Microsoft would kind of, go over the deep end for something that's supposed to be that cool. And then the Minority Report stuff goes away, but the operating system is still there.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
And it's
what
one
do
of
I do
those
with
things
this
where
now?
I think, like Microsoft, they were primarily in one field and they tried to expand into the other. And I appreciate them for trying to make a tablet that isn't Apple. I understand, like a PC tablet rather than Apple tablet. I get that, but I think Ballmer really screwed the pooch on things with Windows 8 because the goal was to force Windows 8 down our throats when Windows 7 was a really good operating system. I love Windows 7. Yeah.
Well, Windows does this on a regular basis, though. Every other Windows program or every other Windows operating system is shit. So you had Windows XP, which everybody loved. Then you had Windows Vista, which was horrible. Then you had Windows 7, which everybody loves, and now you have Windows 8, which everybody hates. And so whatever
XP?
Windows 9 is bound to be good again.
Windows Millennium.
98?
You
don't remember?
No. It was
you don't remember
Millennium
Windows
Edition.
I never heard of that.
Windows ME.
Bad.
Oh.
Yeah.
Let me put it like this. This was in 1998.
Windows Me was
98,
horrible.
99, when
Absolutely
Windows
horrible.
Came out. They
Legendary.
99. Well, 98 sec. No. 98 was bad.
I thought it was 99
second
because
edition
Windows 98 was
very
good.
Do they have a 95?
Yeah, if you go back, 98 was just.
Oh,
bad
I didn't
from the
realize there were
start.
two editions.
But
See,
then
I
they-
was really young then.
Yeah, 98 was really bad.
So I remember
out of
Windows
box.
95, then I
second
remember
edition
Windows
came out, like,
98.
a month or two right after, and it streamlined 98, and 98 became a dream. It was really good, okay? And then
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm used to. I'm used to the second iteration of 98 because I remember using it and I'm like, oh yeah, this is awesome. And I remember
And
using
Millennium
computers
was
that still had
so
95
bad.
on it,
I mean,
and I was thinking,
here's
what
how
the
bad
hell
it
is
was.
this shit?
Yeah.
I don't know. They like rushed it. They rushed it to have it out before the
I
year
remember
2000.
I think I remember seeing like ME or something like that in the compatibility wizard thing. Like you want to make
it
your
was
program
so
will run this
bad.
program as if
Chaos.
it's
It was
this
so
to play
bad
older
that
stuff.
people. And here's
I
the
think
problem.
that's the only
is
time
that,
I've even heard of
like,
it.
I'll give an example. In '99, I purchased my first two big rigs were actually box store rigs from Gateway, and Gateway in '96 was my first real awesome computer, and the box with the cow print and all that shit. But I loved Gateway. It was their products were great.
I remember that. That was so strange.
They're still around. They do primarily laptops. They'll do some
What happened to
towers, too, but
Gateway anyway?
I think they were purchased by Dell. I think. Yeah.
Okay.
But Millennium was so bad.
That
when
makes
I
sense.
bought
Dell
brand
did
new
buy up a
Gateway
lot
in
of shit.
99,
They bought
It
Alienware.
came in. It was a little desktop, the flat one. You put the monitor on top, and it came with a Millennium disk, an upgrade disk. So I installed it, and I'm not kidding. Like I didn't install it right away. I played with Windows 98 Second Edition on the computer, and it was fine. The system ran perfectly fine. not for that time. It was smooth. So I decided to, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put in the upgrade. So I upgraded it, and I'm not kidding. Once it completed, it was the slowest fucking thing. The hard drive was grinding. It was like just sitting there,
Oh no.
and it was so bad.
Yeah. My experience with it was much
Yes.
the same. Everything moved slowly. Any game that I wanted to play had compatibility issues even after they were patched, and you had to like go
The
through
start
the command start R, and you get the prompt, and then you had to run programs that way using special execute commands to get it to work with ME.
You had
Even
to
the
use
stuff that was meant
easier,
for
it was much
to
easier
run
to
with
use.
ME didn't
you were
work right.
in an operating system
And
that
you
you
constantly
didn't
had-
have to use command prompts, but it was so much easier to play games and run things off of the command prompt. That's how bad it was. Here's what happened.
It
So
was
I had
it was
for a
such an
couple days.
oxymoron.
It was so bad.
Yeah,
Okay. But the thing was, is that mine out of box came with it was a like I said, a desktop that had USB mouse and USB keyboard. And at that time, in '99, USB was still in its infancy. But this computer did not have
it was a big
mouse, a PS2 plug in the back of the tower for the mouse. It only had one for the keyboard, okay? So you can have a PS2 keyboard or a USB keyboard, but you had to have a USB mouse. Here's the fucked up part about it all. After a few days, I said, screw this shit. I'm going, and my keyboard and mouse were both USB, by the way. They plugged in, and 98 SE was running them fine because everything was installed. When I rolled back from Millennium back to 98 SE, it uninstalled the mouse driver. So I didn't have a mouse that worked, and there was no way to work it. So I had to use the keyboard to basically I had to toggle through the computer to go back to the website, to Gateway's website,
Oh yeah.
to install the drivers, the USB drivers for the mouse. Because when you rolled back from Millennium to 98, it removed the fucking drivers. Yes. That was before plug and
that was
play.
before the
Yes,
era
that
of
was before
auto
plug and play,
updates,
yes.
where you could just plug something in and it automatically installs the drivers. Yeah.
That was an era
Oh,
where
I
my
hated.
uncle,
I
he
absolutely
praised
hated that era.
SCSI. Every time we would talk,
Like,
he
the
was like, "You have to get SCSI this, and I have everything SCSI," which is funny because a year later, when XP in 2001, when the XP came out, SCSI became useless because of plug and play. There was
That's
no
when it
need for
came
that
out.
shit.
Goodness.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, plug and play. Oh, it was my savior.
I don't even know
Like-
if we started. I think I still have our old computer that used to have 98 on it, but it's now got XP. But at one time it was running 98. It's that's under my bed, and it was such a low grade computer compared to what I can do now. If I wanted to play anything, I had to
That's
install
crazy.
that and then install other things. Like, it
This
was
trip
like,
down
do I wanna
memory
play
lane,
this
we're
now?
already at an
Okay,
hour,
gotta take
20
all these
minutes
other things off so I can play this.
Oh, we are. And you've got me thinking now that we're talking about Windows 98 again. I'm thinking about playing my
Mine was
experience
Roller
of playing
Coaster
Age of
Tycoon.
Empires and how that consumed my life back then. It was such a cool game. I had
Yes.
that. I didn't have Roller Coaster Tycoon. I had Sim Theme Park.
I had Sim Theme Park and Total
I used
Annihilation
to make
and
roller
Night Warrior.
coasters
Those are
that
like the main
literally
games
the
that I
kids
had
would
back
walk
then.
up and would throw up looking at
Yeah, I
it.
had,
Like they would walk up to the line queue, they would look, and then they'd just throw up on the ground. I'm like, okay, I need to close
Yeah.
it and make it loose. Mine were just awesome. They would just the roller coasters they were just everywhere. So, and of course, a lot of kids died, which I feel really bad for. I feel bad about that. This is not safe, so I have to. But anyway,
like this is not safe.
Yeah, I really. Yeah, we should. It's been fun, gentlemen.
Yeah, we should wrap this up. Yeah. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in, everyone that's listening in on Twitch, and thank you for listening, all you future listeners who will be downloading this and listening to it
What's up,
in
Chaos?
podcast
What
fashion.
Chaos?
I shall also.
We will see you next week.
Right before we go, I shall say that our Let's Play is finally complete. How far we actually got into it, and is now set to release every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday until the last part.
Sweet.
And so I'm going to be posting a link for part 8, I believe, which just came out today. In fact, the tweet from Plain Unplugged's channel just came on Twitter.
Well, isn't that
before
special?
we started? So
all right,
it is out.
Well, gentlemen, it's been fun. Have a good night. Good night, everybody. Good night.
Have a good night. Night, everybody.
Bye.